Hi everyone, welcome to Next Home. We're at the Enderby campus. Today we're going to look at all the different fibres, materials and fabrics that the home team use. Let's go speak to Tim and see what it's all about. Hey Tim.
Hey Matt, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good mate. You?
Good to see you, welcome to home.
Yeah, well, definitely in home.
Absolutely.
I think we're in rugs.
We're definitely in the rug room.
I think we're in the rug room.
Yeah, we're definitely in the rug room.
So these are Next rugs, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, well, I suppose a bit of an introduction to where we are. So within the home department, all of the teams sit together, work together, and when we talk about teams, we're talking about designers, buyers, merchandisers and technologists. They all work specifically on their own areas and their own product types. Some are quite varied, some are quite specific, like in rugs and this team. So yeah, it's good to have you here, and it's good to show you what we do. So
fabric
rugs,
of rugs then.
Yeah,
what goes into this?
What goes into it? Predominantly, the main material that we use is wool.
Wool. How much are we talking?
About 400 tonnes a year, which is a pretty big buy.
That is a lot.
And we do a lot of work, and we are doing a lot of work to make sure that that is sustainably sourced and well looked after sheep, etc. In the process of sourcing that wool. We've got a few big projects underway on that at the moment. And yeah, lots of different types, lots of different techniques. Some of the factories that you would go into, that I was in last week, some super high-tech, modern looms to produce the wools, to produce the rugs. And on the other side of that, we have hand-knotted, hand-tied wool rugs that can take 2 weeks to produce for a large rug. Obviously more expensive, handcrafted, hand-created, and even 50, 60-year-old wooden looms that are the old-style hand woven, basically. So yeah, so interesting stuff. We also got other mixed materials in here. The team, and you'll see this as a bit of a theme throughout home as we work our way through. The designer for this area is a specialist in textiles, but especially in rugs.
Right.
Has been working in rugs for a very long time.
And is that key?
Absolutely. And that you'll see that trend as we go through the area. The teams are specialists in what they do, and they might not be when they get here. We have people come over from fashion, as well as from external,
and that's normal,
outside
isn't
the business.
It? Like,
Perfectly normal.
People. That's not a case of someone's like left or anything like that. It's just a case of they might want a new challenge, they might be a new opportunity. Yeah,
absolutely. We have people move from here to fashion, and people from come from fashion to here, which is great. And we're always growing and getting bigger and bigger. We always need more people. So again, bringing people in from outside, and we bring people in at all different levels. It can be as trainees, in which case we provide all of the training and support and work experience for them to grow within the business, as well as people coming in at the top that are already extremely experienced in the areas that they work on. And it is the fibres and the materials. It's not all wool. We do have some man-made fibres in here as well, but it's how you use them to get the looks and the finishes that we want.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And I guess we're going to explore some more of the
materials. So let's go for a walk up the office. This is home accessories. These rooms are for the teams. Like we just saw in rugs.
To work in, or?
Yeah, to work in, to have their meetings in, their own team meetings, to talk about the product progress, range direction, range building, everything like that. And then we will actually have the selection meetings in here. Once they've built their range and decided the direction they want to go in, the designers will design the products, and then we'll sit down here and we'll discuss each of the items and decide whether it actually makes it through into production.
And what's the difference between, because you mentioned there, like a range build and then a selection? What's the difference between the two things there?
Range build, range direction is very much a team product team event, so the buyers, merchandisers, designers and techs. when we get to the selection meetings, the managers are coming in with a view of all home and how the products fit into the stories that we're working on, whether it's appropriate for the season, that sort of thing.
Got you.
And we'll agree what's going to move forwards.
Nice.
So, home accessories. So we came from rugs. All of a sudden, we're in this world of faux floral, which is a huge area for us now, but a real mix of materials and fibres in here as well.
What do you mean by that? Because I'm guessing, if I'm thinking faux floral, I'm thinking probably more plastic. Am I right in there?
We try, throughout home, we try to avoid plastic as much as possible, but plastic definitely has a place in the world. It is important, it does do certain things very well. What we don't want to happen is for us to produce a product that will only last for 5 minutes because we've not made it out of the right material. So they are a combination. So we have a combination of fabrics, paper, silicone, but then the vases can be resin, ceramic, glass, metal, wood, depending on what we're using. Even on the dangly legs on the characters over there, they're obviously string. We have a real mix, real mix of things
on here.
All really intended to be as realistic as possible.
And all different sizes as well, like, you know, in this corner as well, you've got some massive plants as well, which I guess in here you've got everything from wire, rattan.
Yes, exactly. Exactly, we've got some fake moss in there.
And have these moved on a lot as well? Because I guess before you used to have them where you'd like pull the bits off, wouldn't you?
Yes, absolutely. So that's on some of the smaller items. We used to have berries or things that were too small, and they would come off, which was a quality issue for us. But European Union brought in a rule on microplastics, which means that anything that can come off the product that's less than 5 millimeters in width, then that is classed as a microplastic now.
Oh, is it?
So we had to redesign the entire range sort of over the last 6 months that had any little beads or berries or seeds that could come off to make sure that they were permanently attached to the product. So there's a lot going on, and the team design the bouquets. You know, the arrangements that you see here. That's what the designer in this area will design. They'll design the pot or identify the pot that the product will the bouquet will go into. To meet the design trend. I mean, we're looking at autumn at the moment, and more autumnal colours. People want those even in their artificial floral in home.
Because I think when you think design as well, you probably think like drawing or even like a fabric pattern or something like that. But that is literally almost like you're designing every element of it.
Absolutely.
And is that something we're going to see more and more across all of home?
Yes. Absolutely. And some areas, as we mentioned earlier, will be quite specific in their areas. Certainly home textiles with bedding, curtains. There's a variety of products in there, a variety of fabrics and fibres that you will have definitely already discussed in the fashion videos that you've done. Very good. So I think we're probably going to touch less on that, more of the mixed home side of things. But yeah, lots going on.
That's perfect, isn't it? Because literally you've got like faux flowers over here, and then you go straight over to ceramics on this side, which is, again, all done by one team?
All done by the same team.
All by the same team. So yeah, you know, you've got like bowls, even a mini Hamish, vases, and again, they've got to learn all of this.
And it's the techniques, it's the finishes, and how we can use those to create the items that we want to move forwards with. And a lot of it looks like it's ceramic, some is resin, some's glass, some is 3D printed.
Wicked.
So we've got a huge variety again of techniques, and certainly the modernisation of producing with 3D printing has really changed the way that provided a new area of knowledge that we need to be able to tap into.
Developments that you've seen.
It's the newest. I'd say it's the latest, but we're all the while seeing new techniques, new finishes, and we'll take maybe that technique and apply it to a different product, to how we'd seen it or researched it. To deliver something new that's exclusive for us.
Amazing.
So really good, really interesting. Let's go over to beauty. I think.
God, this is really different.
So again,
every room you walk in is very different.
Yeah, this is a completely different move on. We're not just dealing with the fill of the perfume bottle or or the spray in here. It is also the packaging, the bottle itself is absolutely critical in this area. It has to look great, it has to feel good, it has to work and perform. There are certain things that you can't do with the fills that we put in the bottles, the perfumes, because they won't react with the finish, with the plating on the cap, or with the rubberized finish. So again, this team, absolute experts in what they do, and have worked in the industry for many years.
Yeah, you've got to have I mean, it's not like the same sort of scale in size, but the detail in this seems
The detail in this is probably beyond most of the products that we work on. Each element of this has been designed separately and approved separately, even the spray top, the finish on the bottle, the colour of the bottle, and then the packaging design. Also the contents, because obviously it's got to smell good, but also you're spraying it onto your skin, so it's got to be safe, it's got to be legal, it's got to meet all of the expectations of the world and the people that use it.
So very, very specialist.
Very specialist, very high-end development in this area. And this was probably one of the areas where we started using 3D printing of samples first, because to produce a bottle in a shape or in a finish or a cap is very expensive, because you have to produce a mold for it. Whereas now we can 3D print them, assess them at the beginning, and then decide where we're going to go, and it's easier to make tweaks.
Oh, nice.
So
nice.
Brilliant. It's all good.
Right.
So okay.
Where to next?
Next, we will go to wall accessories.
And so that's again another team,
a whole new
buying,
team.
merch, design, technologists.
Absolutely.
Just developing this.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
So that's right. So
you've got wall art on this side, and then you've got...
so we've got clocks here, we've got wall art in another corridor, and then on the wall over here we've got storage and shelving, we've got photo frames in here, pretty much anything that goes on the wall in your home, this team do. Again, a real mix of materials. We've got metals, faux rattan, which is plastic, but we have real rattan, we have different grasses, different weaving techniques. Colour fastness issues are always a problem where it's natural and it's been dyed. There's a lot of black and dark grey in the world at the moment that we have to work on. From a photo frame perspective, the size of the frame, our big posters, poster frames, it's big sheets of glass. It's not anymore, I won't say what we do use, but it's better than glass. It's a big drum, and a transit packaging, how we're actually going to deliver it to the customer, how it's going to perform when it gets there. We don't want it to break.
So you're even considering the fibres, the fabric, everything that goes in the packaging
Everything
as well.
that we do, absolutely. It's without the right packaging used in the right way, we've almost eliminated plastic from our packaging.
Wicked.
Which was a huge project. And was a struggle with the suppliers. A lot of them still wanted to use polystyrene and plastic bags and things like that, but we've almost eliminated it. We're not 100%, but we're very close. And it's about using that in the right way, in the right angle, in the right technique to ensure that the product arrives in one piece. The best that we can.
Because like you say, you've got clocks over here, but then you've got rattan over here and things on the wall as well. So, and is this a challenge for the teams, for them to develop all these different products? Or
absolutely. We have minimum make standards, we have minimum test standards, we have amazing designers, extremely experienced product technologists, the buyers and the merchandisers. They're all about selecting the product, buying the product in the right volumes to be in the right place at the right time. But the whole team work very closely together to deliver what we want for the customer.
So it's always for that customer
absolutely.
At the end.
The customer's always in mind, so we've got to use the right materials, which all the materials have fibres in some way, shape or form, so growth in every fibre, absolutely critical to the team and how they grow and how they develop. As we've already mentioned, they all sit together, but they also travel together. We go to the factories, we don't go to showrooms. In that sense, it tends to be the factory itself, so we can see where the product's being made, make sure that we're happy with the process. And
must be a nice part of the role as well, like like, you know, it's not a holiday.
It's definitely not a holiday. No,
definitely not a holiday, but it's a nice part of the role that you can go out and actually see things being created.
And we learn from that as well.
Yeah.
We learn and grow from that, not only from the suppliers, but from what we observe, and then we take that to other factories and can help improve everybody and everybody we work with. So yeah,
brilliant.
It's good.
Right, where to next?
Next, we're going to go to the mock shop.
Okay,
we're going to have a look at bathroom in the mock shop.
Which way is that?
So that's through this way. So
okay, let's go.
We'll go out this way. Okay, Matt, welcome to the home mock shop.
And why is it called a mock shop?
Okay, that's a good point. That's a really good point.
Most people might not.
Yeah, the audience won't. So, mock shop. We have mock shops all over campus.
For all product areas.
Menswear, women's wear, children's wear, home. And this is where we lay out the product for the season. It helps us see how it's all going to fit into the stores, but also then we'll take photographs of it and share that with the stores so they can see what the layout is and what we want it to look like. So the customer has the same experience whichever store they go into around the country.
Makes sense. It's 480 odd stores. Consistency is going to be massively key.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we have different grades of store as well, so it means we can plan what goes to each store, which in turn impacts the amount we buy.
So why you brought me to bathrooms in particular? Okay,
so this area, in a similar way to kitchen, is one of the areas that has almost every single product type that we sell, or material type that we sell. So everything
all in one department.
All in one department.
Right.
So again, this area we have specialists. So the textiles, bath mats, towels, designers. They are specialists in what they do. They can turn their hand to almost anything. We'll talk about a bit more about that in the design studio shortly. But then we have the hard goods side of bathroom as well, which we can see more of here. And
so this is classed as a hard good.
So well, yes, sort of semi. So we've got the laundry baskets, tidies, again, it's those mixed natural materials. Everything from rattan through to cotton on the towels, Egyptian cotton on the towels, where again, a towel is there to actually do a job. You want it to dry you, not just look great. So when you're designing a towel and you're thinking about the fibres that you're going to be using in that, it has to be able to look good, last a long time, go through a washing machine, be hung out on a washing line and not be affected by the sun, and change its colour, but also dry you and feel nice.
And feel nice.
So there's a whole lot of technology goes into that. Obviously, we've already looked at rugs, bath mats, small rugs.
And with the towels as well, and with because you mentioned there the amount of cotton that we use, what sort of, how much, because you won't think home and cotton, you think more like...
It's a really good point. I've not got that number.
That's
how much cotton we buy. It's a lot.
It's a lot. It's more than you think.
It is an awful lot, yes, because if you think about the weight and of the towels that we buy compared to a garment, we sell a lot more garments, but the total weight that we buy is still huge. It's still a huge part of Next's total buy. Which is nicely moves on then to the other materials that we use. So, from a hard goods perspective, we have again resin, and in this particular item, it is a character item. It's going to be used in most bathrooms with families, we would think. So it's probably better than ceramics. We can put different techniques and different finishes on it. But if it gets dropped, it's not going to smash. All through to, we do have some true ceramic items and glass as well. But then we're offering people choice as to what they have in the bathroom, whether it's appropriate for their home.
And again, this is where the skill of the team comes into play.
Yeah, absolutely. To design into that is a different thought process. That is a mould that you have to be able to get the product in and out of. From a ceramic side, it's the glazing, it's the finishing, colour, the whole thing from that aspect. And then, as we were discussing a few minutes ago, toilet rolls, toilet roll holders, loo brushes, black, yes, absolutely. Different finishes. We have metal, ceramic, glass, wood, resin. So many different things in this area, and that are all absolutely key to offering the customer choice, but quality as well at the same time.
And you mentioned earlier we're going to go to the design area, kind of where that all starts, doesn't it? Like, and you mentioned that a few times. Everything kind of starts with the design and how people design it and what the teams want. So I think we're going to go. Are we going to head there?
Yeah, we'll head there now.
Okay, after you.
Okay, so we're heading towards the design studio now. We have so many different products in home.
Right.
We don't have space for everything in the traditional sense, but again, this is another part of the Wallax team.
Hence why we've got all of this.
This is all the wall art on the walls. We don't just use this to store the product. This is actually, we use this corridor to select it. So we'll walk, the whole team and the managers will walk up and down here and review what's on the wall. Again, many different techniques and materials in this area. So, you know, these are hand painted, hand finished on a print. So each of these 3D effects has been hand applied in the factory. It's a really interesting process in how they do it. Probably too long for me to go into now. But yeah, again, huge range of mixed materials in here. Everything from embroidery to acrylics, wood, metal, glass.
And this is the same team that are buying in the wall art room, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think just as we go into the design studio, you'll see some of our characters on the wall. Hamish again, and some of our popular characters. So this is the design studio.
And why is this something that you've kind of referenced throughout? Like, why is
everything
this something?
starts with design? If you haven't got design, then you don't have a product.
Right.
So it's absolutely critical. And the team that we have in here, there's 32 of them. It's one of the largest design teams in retail in the UK. Yeah, pretty much. Which is great. A huge amount of skill, huge amount of talent in here. Working across many different medias, from hand drawing, hand painting, through to CAD and different software techniques for designing products across lighting, textiles, furniture, upholstery, all the hard goods that we've seen already, and the different textiles from curtains to bedding.
Because how many different product areas are there then?
That is a very good question. I'm guessing 13 plus furniture, so sort of 18, I think.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's quite big.
And that all needs design in
Absolutely.
all those different
There's a team
elements
that will work
discussed.
on each of those different product types, all designed, all created here. It's what makes the product next. We see products when we go to factories, but they will usually be amended, changed, developed to be a next product beyond what it was originally. But the majority of products are designed from scratch in here, in-house.
Which is amazing, really.
Yeah. It looks like it's a bit of an office in here, but that's the computer side of it, and then we have a more creative area on the other side of the white wall there. But that is the new high top secret stuff that we can't share. I've been told by the design manager I'll be in trouble if we go in there. So so there's a lot goes on here.
No,
so
I mean, it's
really
great.
Important.
I mean, I really appreciate you taking us around, Tim, and showing us. I think you really get across the scale, but also the kind of like, the growth of Next Home that's happened. Because I still think there's probably people, isn't there, that maybe aren't aware, unless they are a Next customer.
Absolutely.
Of what we do anyway.
That we even do home.
Or if and all the different, and it is right. You said it right at the start. There's so many different fabrics and fibres. That come into it, that it's great. It's great to see it all come together.
Yeah.
So thanks for your time.
No problem at all, you're welcome.